to Start Challenge, and they got this, and they have an investor now. Invested $80,000, and they are exporting this charcoal out of the country, earning foreign currency. And so this is not necessarily placement, but they've got a business and they are employing other people to support them. So
the unemployment.
Exactly. Our main aim is to reduce the graduate unemployment in Ghana. And if we're able to prepare our students to contribute that way, we know very soon a lot more businesses will come up, and so most of them won't have to stay at home waiting for a job that probably is non-existent.
Okay, so how did you get the entire university buying into this transformation? Because in some countries and then in some universities, it is not that easy to have the entire university placing much more premium on careers and counseling services for students. How did you do it?
It's not been easy, as you said, because sometimes you have people being of the view that it's only important to teach them and send them away. But we believe that if you're teaching them, they have to groom them into the world of work. And so fortunately at that time there was Professor Aite and currently Professor Ebenezer Odro. These are vice chancellors with a vision that see what we are doing and are willing to add their support, and the registrar as well, which is Mrs. Hazel Asia. So they see what we are doing and they see the essence of these to the lives of our students. And so if you've got their support, then it's easy to rally the support of other members of the university to be able to run it. That doesn't mean everyone supports it, but we realize that most of the entire community now sees the essence of this, and so they are willing to work with us to help our students be able to compete in a competitive job market.
Great. Dr. But let me ask you, who needs counseling?
Who needs counseling? That's an interesting question. Sure. Everybody is my simple answer. Everybody, in the sense that at any point in time, we are all faced with a challenge of decision making. Sure. And sometimes actually very sympathetic towards you if you let us know your condition, and then we can bring in all the support and the advocacy that you need. So what we say is for people to open up, but those that open up and those that access our services, they realize it helps them with their stay on campus. Because if we need, for instance, to make a concession, the university needs to make a concession for you based on your peculiar condition, we are able to write a letter, a report on your condition, of course taking out the details of it, but letting the university know that this person needs such and such a support, and so the university is then willing to work with you. And so it's important for the students to let us know, because if they keep it to themselves and the time comes when they need this support, we do not have any history on them, we do not have any information on them, so we cannot make a strong case on their behalf. And that's why we're saying, even if you're receiving help outside, it's important for us to know, so that if it means discussing with your halls or with your course or with your department, with the academic affairs, for them to
in sharing our problems. And I would want to believe that University of Ghana has over more than 18,000 students on campus. 40,000. How many visit the counseling center a year?
In a year, well, because we are into the Careers and Counseling Center, then it will be difficult to limit it just to the counseling side. But the center, we may, because not everyone is on campus actually, at the center we may get up to 20,000. A lot of them looking at career opportunity, brand the center for students to see it as a career center, or student support center. That was actually the name we wanted, student support services. But we realized that it might clash with other names, other units of the university.
Like the dean
of students, exactly, the dean of students office. That was the main challenge. So we kept it at this. But we wanted it to be a comprehensive support service, so that when students come in, it could be for anything. And if you need help with career, and sometimes they talk to us and they actually need financial aid, so we refer them to the student financial aid office, for instance. So they are coming in for counseling, but the main problem behind the counseling is the financial aid they need, so we refer them. So it's we say that it's not been easy, but it's just because when we started charting the students' journey, it's a cycle that we charted, and we realized that at various points, what are their needs and how can we help them? So we put ourselves in the center of the students' journey, and so that at any point in time we can offer them support in the various areas. So that's how come then the center became more of an all-encompassing center, because we are charting their journey with them throughout the 4 years or 2 years, however long they're going to be here. And through that, if you're able to work with them, you're able to know what their needs are and how best you can support them at any point in time.
Okay. So do you have the lecturers also coming in for services? Do you have their dependents coming in if they have any?
Yes, the center is here for the students. It's actually for the entire university community, so that includes the students, the staff, and their dependents. A lot more of the staff bring in their dependents rather than themselves. But those staff that still want to check themselves in, we usually see them outside hours so that they are not sitting around waiting with students. So we offer them out of office service, out of hours services, yes. But they're allowed to bring their children in. They're allowed to bring themselves in if they need the help, yes. And then, of course, the students are allowed to walk in anytime.
So then it means you do some kind of outreaches outside the university community?
Yes, we do outreach. We have the SHS outreach because we realized that people are coming in and they didn't have a clue about some of the courses available and the opportunities within them. So we need to take it to them there. So we run an SHS outreach program once a year where we target senior high schools and their counselors, in the school counselors, and we talk to them about career planning, that if you're able to start planning from that stage, then there's less frustrations when you get to this stage. So we have that, and then we also have the outreach. We sort of partner with little groups. We have the volunteering. There are some groups that will go out there to help people with reading, for instance, or mentoring JHS students, for instance. So our students are on a program where they mentor JHS students, and this, apart from help building the students themselves, it also gives back to the community. So the community sees that we are also offering them, giving back to them, because we know that, you know, they are giving to us. We also have to give something back to them. And so we run those. And there's another one on age concern where there's one group that we've partnered with that looks at the elderly. And it was a group of social work students who, you know, came up with this idea, so we partnered with them, and so we give the elderly the support, and we run sort of seminars and training programs, some kind of forum for people to understand the needs of the elderly and how they might be supported.
So we'll take a very quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at, we'll zero our discussion into more of the careers and what you do with the students and for the entire university settings as well.
Anyone can get an education, but not everyone gets quality education. It's never too late to acquire it. The University of Lusaka, a modern private university located off Ali Kinkata Road in Lusaka, Zambia, offers undergraduate, master's and PhD degree programs in the School of Business and Management, Law, Economics, Banking and Financial Services, Public Administration, Governance and International Relations, Education, Engineering and the Built Environment, and Health Sciences. Our curriculum is practical and designed to meet the changing needs of employers, business and society. Because at Unilas, we make students think outside the book. Our driving force is a passion for quality education. We build graduates fit for purpose. Enroll now for January or June intakes. For more information, log on to www.unilas.ac.zm.
I promise you nothing but the best, because we are streaming live from the director's office, and that is the director for Careers and Counseling Center of the premier university in Ghana, University of Ghana. And I hope that you've been enjoying the discussion throughout. If you just joined in, we are telling you to just log on to our Facebook page and then our Twitter handle, and then you can send us your comment, your feedback on the topic that we are discussing. Counseling is for everybody, and it plays a significant role in the life of a student and the entire university services. Earlier I was discussing with Mrs. Bachman, how the center has really gone through a lot of all the process of change and where they have gotten now, and it's amazing that they are doing so much to support the students and the entire university as well. So Doc, let me come back to you, and I know that is the area where you place much more emphasis, and I can see the expression on your face that you are happy when you're talking about the career services. So what do you do for the student on a semester basis in a year? What goes on with the career services that you provide for the student?
Okay, maybe I'll just talk in broad terms what we do at the center, if that's okay.
All right.
So we have the main counseling service. We have professional counselors, and we have peer counselors.
All right.
So the peer counselors are students we train, and they're out there in the department. We put their information out there, their numbers on posters.
Can you give us evidence of students who have directly been employed?
Oh yes, last year, for instance, we placed close to 1,000 students in different positions. That's from the center, and this doesn't include those that went on their own, but that's from the center. But of course, there are a number of students, over another 6,000 or 7,000, that came to us requesting for introductory letters so that they might find their own placement. And based on that, a feedback form where the employer is supposed to give us feedback on the student's performance, and out of that, we're able to then, when you return, we'll talk to you and say, probably you didn't score so well in dative. So how might you prepare yourself next time you're going into the world of work? And so we discuss that with that